Is it worth going with these inexpensive like hardware store pocket knives, or it's just better to go either like replaceable blade utility knife or dedicated like, you know, nice $50, $60 pocket knife? So a short time ago, we did a destruction test on a $9 Husky pocket knife that I picked up at Home Depot. And it held up a little better than I thought it would, but I ended up bending the tip, damaging the lock, and it's now not functional.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that did it right there.
Well, recently I was walking through Home Depot again. I discovered that Milwaukee Tools has a compact folder that they claim stays sharp, even though it's a Chinese stainless steel compact pocket knife. Let's open it here. There we go. Now the packaging does say limited lifetime warranty, so that's good to know. So let's just take a look here before we start pounding on it. Now, one of the main differences compared to several in this kind of style is that it's a liner lock and not a lock back. So there's a potential for it to be not as strong as some of the other models that are out there. It is running on bronze washers, so that's pretty impressive for less than 15 bucks. The liner lock hits like dead center on the spine. Got ever so slight play and 0 up and down, so that's good. The stop pin back there is pretty small, so that's not good or bad. The blade is thin, so it should be pretty slicey. Got a hollow grind, yep, from what it looks like. Stonewash finish, and I know it's about 2.5 inches, 2.25 inches overall. Kind of got that eye hole look to it. Wire pocket clip that is removable, so if you didn't want that, I like that wire pocket clip. It's not reversible from what I can tell. Yeah, that would have been nice to, even though it's a tip down, not ideal, but it would have been nice to have that reversible for you lefties. A little bit of traction, high vis, so that's good. I can barely get all 3 of my fingers on there without gloves. So with gloves, we'll try it, but I have a feeling you're gonna kind of be almost doing like a 3-finger grip, and then you got a lanyard hole as well right there. So interesting design. Let's go ahead and jump in and just see how it performs when we start beating on it. All right, we got lofty claims this is going to stay sharp. We're going to do a paper test to begin with. It's sharp out of the box, so that's good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Cardboard is always a good starter. Unpacking material at the job site. Sweet. All right, so gone through all that. And guys, if you're enjoying the content in this video, I do invite you to smash that like button and to subscribe, but make sure to hit that bell icon so that you can be notified every week when I put up new content, testing out gear and equipment, showing you pros, cons, and what they can do for you and me, the user. Okay, so I could tell it was bogging down a little bit. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what steel it is. It's made in China. I mean, we could be generous and say 8 CR. It's probably like 3 CR or 5 CR. Yeah, it's getting pretty toothy just after going through all that cardboard. And I feel like, if I remember correctly, the Husky seemed to hold a little bit of a better edge. Now, there's another issue I have already discovered that we'll hit in a moment after we do a little bit more testing, just kind of see how it is. Ergonomically, it feels pretty good. I mean, I was really having near the end there to really force through some stuff, and there was no real hot spots or uncomfortability. So they've rounded off all the edges well, and there's no sharp points, which is something that you would be looking for. So one thing I'm noticing is that it's nice to have the 2.25 inch blade over, say, a utility knife for tasks like I just did. You do get a little bit more sweep. You're not like skipping through cardboard boxes and material like that. That's one downside. So you get a little bit more blade to work with. It's not going to be quite enough. You're going to have to do a couple strokes, but I mean, it's still cutting, even though it's kind of toothy on the cardboard, it's still cutting this bike tubing right here, rubber. Yeah, I'm not having to put a ton of pressure to get through it there. There we go, got through it. Okay, so I mean, it's doing pretty decent for a $12 pocket knife that you would just throw in your toolbox. I mean, it's not gonna be like a dedicated EDC. You can see there, it's doing good with that wood too. So I would definitely not say stay sharp like they're claiming, because I mean, that was decent cardboard, but I used to be an electrician. You know, on an average day, I might go through 10 cardboard boxes, similar amount of strokes, you know, and so by the end of the day, it's going to be toothy, and I'm going to have to like tune it up again. One of the benefits to a utility knife that with the replaceable blades. But I mean, it's nice, it's ergonomic if you don't have to use these very often, but there is a fatal flaw showing itself, and with full transparency, this is not the first model that I've had. This is actually the second one. Both models have shown this fatal flaw. I was hoping it was just a fluke. I returned the first one, and after using this second one only for 15 minutes here with you or so, it's showing the exact same problem. So I'm actually going to call the cutting test right now. I'm going to do one other thing because it doesn't matter. I mean, it could cut for an eternity if it's having this issue. The liner lock on my first model, right out of the gate, I hadn't even used it. I opened it up, jammed, and I literally could not remove it. This one didn't have that, so I returned that one. I got another one. That didn't have that out of the box, so I was hoping like, okay, that must have just been like a fluke, but I physically cannot with my hand. There it is. Two-handed remove that. So now it's not going all the way over. That's causing that problem again, but it's almost skipping the spine. And as you saw, they jammed before I went to any more of the cutting during the cardboard cut. So there is enough of torque on the back spine there that allows it to jam itself all the way over, and I can use my finger, and now it is wedged and I can't do it. I have to get another tool in there to pop and pry the liner lock. So if this had been a lock back design, I think there is a lot of potential there. And I kind of like the lines more than on the Husky. But this thing, this is the second one now with that liner lock issue. And either there's a huge batch of flukes, so leave a comment if you own one and you haven't had that issue. But I would not be picking this blade up purely for that reason, because when I flick it hard, even I can see it almost over traveling completely and skipping the entire spine, making it useless. Yep, now it's jammed again. So just there, 2 hands I got to do to disengage that lock. So bad lock design, decent overall other than that, and I would say that Milwaukee almost had a decent little budget knife on their hands, but with 2 having that issue, I wouldn't go with it and I wouldn't buy it. But I have had really good success with the push button locks on Milwaukee's, and I do believe there's a version of this knife with a push button lock that may be a lot more reliable than this liner lock version. So that's my mileage. Your mileage may vary. Leave comments below. Let me know your experience, your feeling on this design. Is it worth going with these inexpensive like hardware store pocket knives, or it's just better to go either like replaceable blade utility knife or dedicated like, you know, nice $50, $60 pocket knife like that? Let me know what you guys think, what you gravitate to more. I always appreciate the feedback. And guys, check out the other video popping up and subscribe if you haven't yet. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.